guys, Logan here. Welcome to another episode of LBFT. This is episode 3 of LBFT Season 3. For this episode, I'm going to be giving in my reaction and thoughts to the final top 25 college football playoff rankings that happened the day before yesterday, which was last Sunday, I believe. Yeah, that's right. Last Sunday, I was watching the college football playoff selection show to see who would be in the top 25, or what the top 25 rankings list would look like in the college football playoff. And here I am, just 2 days away, but damn it, I'm doing it anyway. So, yeah, top 25 rankings, if I can find them. Okay, that's right, top 25 rankings for the college football playoff. I'll give you the 25 teams in the college football playoff. LSU 1, LSU 2, Ohio State, Clemson 3, Clemson 4, Oklahoma 5, Georgia 6, Oregon. Okay, so let me read you all the 25 teams ranked in the final college football playoff rankings. 1, LSU, 2, Ohio State, 3, Clemson, 4, Oklahoma, 5, Georgia, 6, Oregon, 7, Baylor, 8, Wisconsin, 9, Florida, 10, Penn State, 11, Utah, 12, Auburn, 13, Alabama, 14, Michigan, 15, Notre Dame, 16, Iowa, 17, Memphis, 18, Minnesota, 19, Boise State, 20, Appalachian State, 21, Cincinnati, 22, USC, 23, Navy, 24, Virginia, and 25, Oklahoma State. Those are the 25 teams ranked in the final college football playoff list. I'll start off with the top 4. LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and Oklahoma being the final 4 teams competing in the college football playoff. 3 of them with undefeated records of 13-0. LSU, Ohio State, and Clemson. LSU for the SEC, Ohio State for the Big Ten, and Clemson for the ACC. And Oklahoma being a one-loss team, being put at the number 4 spot after after beating Baylor twice, the second within the Big 12 championship game. And also Utah losing in the Pac-12 championship, to Oregon. Formerly number 5 ranked Utah losing to formerly 13th ranked Oregon. So Oklahoma is is number 4. And the first 2 teams out of the college football playoff, Georgia and Oregon at 5 and 6. But again, I'll start off with the final 4. First of all, LSU leapfrogging Ohio State to be at number 1 after beating down Georgia 37-10 in the SEC championship last Saturday. I'm not surprised. I mean, I expected them to, although I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I even did a tweet saying, or actually giving out my prediction for what the Final Four would look like. I had Ohio State at 1, LSU at 2, Clemson at 3, and Oklahoma at 4. So even with LSU's dominant win against LSU, a part of me says that even with that, it seems like the College Football Playoff Committee would still have Ohio State remain at 1, even though LSU has a more impressive win. But also, I mean, I wasn't really all that surprised to see LSU being put at number 1 and Ohio State drop down to number 2. So that means that LSU will be playing in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia, against Oklahoma, led by Jalen Hurts and Lincoln Riley. And Ohio State will be playing against Clemson in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. So 2 national semifinals taking place at 2 different locations. I have no problem with them. I have no problem with the Final Four. LSU 1, I agree. Ohio State at 2, I agree. Clemson at 3, I agree with. Oklahoma, obviously, I agree. Especially after they beat Baylor and Utah lost to Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. So there was no other option. And then you had Georgia and Oregon both at 5 and 6. No argument there. And then you have Baylor being put at 7. I agree with that as well. It was a very close game in the Big 12 title that Oklahoma barely beats Baylor. With the game coming down to 4th down for Baylor, if they commit on 4th down, that they still have a chance. But if they didn't convert on 4th down, then it's game over. And sure enough, they didn't convert on 4th down. And as a result, the Oklahoma Sooners won their 5th straight Big 12 championship game. So congrats to them. So Baylor at 7, no arguments there. Wisconsin remains at 8, even though going into the Big Ten title game, they were still ranked at number 8, if I remember correctly. And then after being shut out in the second half, I believe it was a 27-0 run by Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. Wisconsin lost by 14 points. I can kind of see why they would still remain at number 8, even though a part of me feels like they should have been dropped down by 1 or 2 spots. But it doesn't matter. Florida at number 9, no arguments there. Even though I hate Florida because I'm an FSU fan and I can't stand the Gators so much, and their fans, they drive me crazy. Not as much as Alabama fans, but the Gators fans also drive me nuts with how they talk and how they annoy people such as myself that they're going to beat Georgia and be the SEC East champions and then go up against Alabama or LSU in this case. But I digress. Penn State put at 10. I guess no arguments are to be made against that. You could put them out of the top 10 or not. It's just either option. I'm okay with that. Utah dropped down to 11 from number 5 to number 11, 6 spots. I can kind of see why, because Oregon beat Utah. I forgot exactly what the final score was, but it was something like 37-15, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was 37-15, though I could be wrong. But Utah dropping down by 5 spots to be at or 6 spots rather, to be at 11 No disagreements there. They deserve to be dropped down by that much. Auburn, no disagreements. Alabama, no disagreements there. And I will get into Alabama just a little bit. But number 14, Michigan. Really? Really? I mean, you gotta be kidding me, man. Can we just put Michigan out of the top 15 for just once, please? It would mean a lot. It would be. I would be very. I would thank you if you do that, because Michigan doesn't deserve to be in the top 15. They're the most overrated program in college football. Period. There is no other program that is as overrated, that is being as overhyped going into this season as Michigan. Period. And then after Michigan lost to Penn State, mid-season, I believe, all the hype surrounding this team beating Ohio State is over. Well, was over. Like, there's no way Michigan is going to beat Ohio State and then compete for a Big Ten title game, not to mention the college football playoff. So, it makes no sense to me why Michigan is still ranked in the top 15. When was the last time we saw Michigan play at their home game? What happened to Michigan at their home game? They got blitzed by Ohio State, 56-27. That was the last time we saw Michigan play. And they should have been dropped down by 5 to 10 spots. They don't deserve to be ranked, as far as I'm concerned. They shouldn't even be ranked at all. I said after their loss to Wisconsin, 35-14, they should be ranked outside of the top 25. That's what I said, and I still feel that way. Just please, guys, put Michigan out of the top 15. It would really be grateful, because my God. I will say this though, the team below them by one spot, Notre Dame, I will say that was Michigan's best win of their season, of their schedule. I will give it to them. Notre Dame was ranked was ranked in the top 10 at the time that they were on the at the time that they were playing on the road against Michigan, and Michigan not only beat Notre Dame, they beat down Notre Dame 45-14. So I'll give it to them. I understand why Michigan is put above Notre Dame, because Michigan dominated Notre Dame. And Notre Dame was a good team. Not a great team, but a good team. So, and even Notre Dame is not a Big Ten team. They're an independent program. So, yeah. Still, their best win of the season was against Notre Dame. So, Michigan being put above Notre Dame makes sense. So I'll give it to them. But outside of that, I still don't get why Michigan is ranked in the top 15. Put them out of the top 15 for God's sakes. They are not a top 15 worthy team. That's just how I look at it. Iowa at 16. No argument, I would say. Although I will admit that I have not watched them play this season. I have not watched a single game that they played in, so I have nothing much to say about whether or not Iowa deserves to be higher, lower, or deserve to be at the spot that they're put at. So, and that goes for most of the teams within the top 20 spots or 25 spots. There's more than Iowa, but Memphis at 16, or no, I'm sorry, my bad, 17 rather. I might have watched one game with them. I might have watched one game, yeah. I think it was their matchup against SMU. I think that was the one game where SMU was undefeated, and then Memphis played at home and then beat SMU in a high-scoring fashion. I don't know exactly what the final score is, but it was somewhere like in the 40s or 50s. 50, 40 plus or 50 plus points, point games or whatever. Just crazy. But Memphis beat SMU, so I guess they deserve to. They earned their spot, or they earned the spot that they're at 17. So I don't know. I watched 2 games, or one, with Minnesota. Yeah, that's right. I watched Minnesota's game against Penn State, where both teams were undefeated, and then Minnesota upset Penn State, giving them their first upset, their first loss of the season. And I think, that might have been the only game where I saw Minnesota played. So, yeah, I think that's the only game I watched. It could be, I might have watched Minnesota's game against Iowa as well, but I probably don't remember it. So, that's just me. So, I don't know, maybe Minnesota at 18. Although they did lose to Wisconsin, or got dominated by Wisconsin at home. So, it kind of makes sense that they dropped down significantly. From one spot, I don't remember where they were originally ranked, but prior to their loss to Wisconsin. But it was somewhere like in the top 10 maybe. Boise State. I only watched one game that they played in, and that was the season opening game against my Florida State Seminoles. My Seminoles had a chance to win this game at halftime. They were up at halftime. And then they all of a sudden get shut out by Boise State at home. They hadn't even scored a single touchdown, field goal, or even a safety against Boise State. So that was upsetting. But Boise State, 12-1, only suffering one loss this season, kind of makes sense. Though I only watched them in one game. I only watched one game that they played in. So, kind of makes... I guess that's kind of the right spot to put them at 19. Appalachian State. Or I think that's how you say Appalachian State, or I think that's how you say it. Anyway, them at 20. Again, with Boise State and Memphis, and Iowa as well. I have not watched... I just realized I actually have never watched a single game that they played in this season. Appalachian State. I've not watched a single game that they played in. So, I have no comment on whether or not they deserve to be at 20 or they deserve to be higher or lower. I don't know. You guys let me know. But Cincinnati at 21, again, never watched them play, so I don't know. USC, I have not watched... I don't know if I watched them play or not. Probably not, but I guess I might have. I just probably forgot. Maybe it was... No. I might have watched one game that they played in, but I can't remember what it was that they played in, whether they won or lost. So, again, no opinion on that. Navy newly ranked Navy, 23. No, I guess they deserve it, you could argue. I mean, Navy, but by the way, Navy will be facing Army in that, what is it called? America's game? A college football game between Army and Navy. That's going to be a good game. It always has been a really good game. So it'll be interesting to see how Navy will perform. But that's besides the point. The point is, like various other teams I just got through talking about, I have not seen them play one game this season, so I don't really know. But I have seen Virginia play. And the only game that I watched them played in, I actually watched 2 games that they played in this season. One against my Seminoles, the other in the ACC championship game. And if you watch that ACC championship game, you know how it went down. Clemson dominated Virginia, 62-17. And still, they dropped by 1 spot, from 23 to 24. Which, other than, what was it? Georgia put at number 5. Outside of that, as being the most surprising part about this ranking list, the fact that Virginia is still ranked in the top 25 surprises me. Because Virginia, butchered Virginia. They absolutely whooped Virginia's ass. They completely destroyed Virginia. And they're still ranked in the top 25, which very surprises me. Because I thought that Virginia was going to be unranked after their beatdown loss to Clemson. But to my surprise, they're still ranked. And they were down by 1 spot after losing or get dominated by Clemson. So that was the surprising part to me, outside of Georgia dropped down by 1 spot from number 4 to number 5 after getting beat down by LSU in the SEC championship 37-10. Outside of that, this Virginia at 24 part surprises me. That was the surprising part. And then Oklahoma State at 25, the 25th and last ranking spot for a college football team to be put at. And Oklahoma State. Have I watched them play? I don't think I did. I don't know. I probably didn't. So I have no words. I have no opinion on whether or not Oklahoma State deserves to be at number 25 or even ranked higher or even outside of the top 25. I don't know. You guys let me know. Those of you that watch Oklahoma State, as well as the other teams that I have not watched them play, that I have not watched this season. But yeah. For the most part, good ranking list. I agree with most of it. Some of it I disagree with. Some of it surprising. There are a couple of surprises to me, and I already told you what they are. Some of it I disagree with, like I said. And just, yeah, I would say that. I will say this, though. I said earlier that I was going to get into Alabama. Well, now I'm getting into it now. Even though right now I'm getting off topic, but I just wanted to because just to have fun. Even though this episode is all about my reaction to the final top 25 college football playoff rankings. But I must say, that's not the Clemson, Ohio State, LSU, and Oklahoma put in the top 4. That's not even the best part about the rankings list to me. The best part about this ranking list that I just got through talking about is LSU is not only Alabama is not in the top 4 or 6, but they're ranked number 13. I mean, you just can't make this up. Yeah, what is that? Their lowest ranking spot since what, 2014 or 2013? I believe. I'm not sure exactly when that was the lowest they were ever ranked. But anyway, Alabama ranked number 13. That's just hilarious to me. I mean, I mean, after losing at home, after having 2 regular season losses, one at home against LSU, the other on the road in the Iron Bowl against Auburn. I mean, life as a college football fan is just so good right now. It's been so good this season. I mean, as someone who's all about competition, as someone who hates Alabama and their fans, college football has gotten so much better, competition-wise, if you will. It's not just one team that has been so dominant over everybody else, like one team and then everybody else until that national championship game from last year happened. Yeah, and then ever since then, it's been more than just 1, 2, or even 3 teams that are on top of the college football world, and neither one are Alabama. And as a result, my life my fandom for college football has gotten so. I mean, I've just gotten so happier. Just the fact that Alabama is not competing for a national championship, that's the first time that has happened since 2013. And do you know what happened during that year? My Florida State Seminoles won a national championship. So, it's just so awesome that Alabama is not competing for a national championship. That is what I have been dreaming about for years. Seeing Alabama competing for a postseason bowl game, not a national championship, it just makes me happier. Just to see the misery that is suffered by Alabama fans, just the fact that their team is not competing for a national championship, just makes my day, just makes me very happy. It just makes me happy. Because I'm happy not alone, and if you feel like alone without a roof. Because I'm happy not alone, and if you feel like happiness is the truth. I just got too excited. I apologize, but I just can't help it. I can't help myself. It's just too hilarious to me. Oh boy. A lot of you Alabama fans are going to put in the comments section, sending your hate comments saying, Logan, you are such a hater. You love to see Alabama lose and all that stuff. Whatever. Whatever. I don't care. If you want to crown me as Alabama Hater of the Year, so be it. I'll take it. Because I can't stand you Alabama fans. Y'all make me sick. I can't stand you. Y'all are the worst college football fans I have ever encountered. The worst fan base in American history of sports. Cowboys fans are close second, but you Alabama fans are the worst. Y'all are the worst. Y'all always thought that your team was going to a national championship. Y'all have no reality when it comes to when it comes to expectations for your team. Y'all always thought that your team was going to win a national championship, or even go to a national championship every year, right? That's who you Alabama fans are. Y'all have no humility or reality whatsoever. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. The point is, Alabama going to a postseason bowl game known as the Citrus Bowl against the Jim Harbaugh coached Michigan Wolverines. I will admit, I've been very critical of Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, only because they have not beaten Ohio State with or without Urban Meyer as their head coach. You know, they're now 0-5, 0-4 against Urban Meyer. They have not won a single game against Ohio State, coached by Urban Meyer. And now that Urban Meyer retired last season, this is now Ryan Day's team. He's the new head coach for Ohio State, and he beat down Jim Harbaugh. He outcoached Jim Harbaugh. But again, that's not the purpose of me talking about Alabama. I will admit. So yeah, I've been critical of Jim Harbaugh and Michigan, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. But I also must admit, I sure hope, and I'm not saying that it will happen. That's not what I'm saying, because it's very unlikely that it's going to happen. But I sure hope. I hope that Michigan will beat Alabama in the Citrus Bowl. That's what I hope will happen. Because if that happens, I will be busting my butt off. I'll be busting my butt with laughter. I'd be like laughing so hard and loud. It would be absolutely hilarious if Michigan beats Alabama. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm hoping it will happen, but it won't happen. I expect Alabama to beat Michigan because Alabama is a better team than Michigan. And Alabama will prove that when the Citrus Bowl kicks off and then ends with whoever gets the last possession of the game. And Alabama is clearly the favorite, is picked as the favorites to beat Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, making this Jim Harbaugh's and Michigan's fourth straight postseason bowl loss. Yeah, that wouldn't be great, but I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama wins. But if Michigan wins against Alabama, oh my lord, it would be hilarious. I would not resist doing an LBFT episode talking about Alabama's loss to Michigan. It would be hysterical, and you will not, you do not want to miss my reaction in an LBFT episode about Alabama's loss to Michigan, if, and only if, they lose to Michigan. Which is unlikely, but I hope it happens, because it would be a hell of a fun for me. Anyway, so yeah, guys, that is my reaction to the final college football playoff rankings in the top 25. I'm going to be doing another LBFT episode after this. I'm going to be... I guess I'll be talking about the Ravens win against the Bills, 24-17 last Sunday. I was originally going to do this episode and then that episode yesterday, but I didn't. But I'm doing them today. So, yeah, and I will also do a couple of Battle 5 videos. One of them on my NFL MVP favorites. The other, my NFL Coaches of the Year. Coach of the Year favorites, rather. Those are the next 4 videos for today. If not 2 for right now, and then the other 2 for tonight. So I hope that happens, but it might not. Though you never know. Anyway, that's it for now. That is all for now. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it that like button to click, and if you'd like to see future videos from me, make sure to press up there to subscribe, and don't forget to turn on that bell icon so that you'll get notified about my latest videos. Have a great day, and as always, fight the good fight.